You've never missed a mortgage payment, so when your renewal comes up, it should be automatic for most people. And a lot of us think it is, but it's not necessarily automatic. Across the GTA, we have seen power of sale listings increase substantially over the last couple of years. They've more than doubled year over year. And as you can see, they've now passed 200 power of sales this year. Now, this should be setting off a lot of signals in our heads that things might be a little bit different as we are progressing in this current real estate market that we're actually dealing in. Now, in the next couple minutes here, I'm going to show you why perfect payment history, it can actually still fail the renewal test sometimes here, exactly what lenders are looking at right now, the rights that you have before your term actually ends, and the rule changes that have happened recently that do allow you to switch lenders a little bit easier. So if your lender does say no, you have some kind of plan of action. So everything that I put on screen throughout this video, I will have in the description box down below for you to follow up with it as well. So after the pandemic, we know regulators had told the lenders to tighten up the risk management when you are getting a mortgage. Now that means that even during renewal times, lenders can apply a risk-based review. Income verification, debts, overall risk, not just, hey, you paid all of your mortgage on time, but a little bit more thorough on their end. And at the same time, we do have 4 current pressure points that we are having in 2025 right now. The first being payment shock, of course, as your mortgage renewal could be coming up. You're going to have the lows of 1.5 to 2.5%, which are now 4+% a lot of the time. The second thing is tighter underwriting at the renewal side of things, which we may have not even had a clue that this was a thing, but if you're self-employed, if your income has changed substantially, it might be something you want to reach out to your mortgage provider earlier rather than later to see if this is going to in fact be an issue that you need to worry about. And the third thing is that reality check of lenders actually looking at what you put on your CRA documents. So maybe you are self-employed, you're not showing high income year after year because you don't want to pay as much in taxes, but if you aren't showing that, potentially we have an issue here where your renewal might give you a little bit more of a hassle than you might have even imagined here. And the fourth thing is the arrears. They're rising on the historic lows that we've had. So lenders, they are being extra alert to them right now. Now you're going to see lots of scary numbers online, some of the other videos out there as well, things like 31% delinquencies, but the real figures quoted are not in percentages. Usually they are in basis points, so not whole percentages. Now, recently there was articles by RBC that reported roughly 30 basis points nationally, with the GTA higher than Vancouver rising. Yes, 30%, no. 30 basis points, yes. Now you might be saying it's very unlikely, and I agree with you. It is very unlikely that we are going to have a major issue on renewal. It's definitely possible. The banks are not to be tested, but some things that could potentially get you stuck in this rut are things like your ratios. They've drifted potentially. Maybe you have a car loan, a line of credit card utilization has been more than it was in the past. Maybe your income has changed, like we stated with the self-employed. Maybe you're on commission. Maybe you had bonuses before, but now they are lower. And then value versus the actual balance. So if your loan to value has crept up, that might spook out your current lender, and that might mean you need to look for a new lender. And of course, insurance lapses, property taxes being late, or not disclosing any employment changes. All of these are potentials for that renewal not going as smoothly as you wanted. And if something actually does go wrong in Ontario, the scary thing is lenders do not actually need to go to court. With the Mortgages Act, it allows power of sale, which is a faster, non-judicial process. So default isn't only missed payments, certain covenant breaches can actually count on this as well. Now, GTA spikes in power of sale listings, they do matter. There's 204 that occurred in September versus 96 a year earlier, an increase of 112%. So that is a really big increase. It is still only 204. You have to keep that in mind. But last year, 96. So it is a massive jump. It's still a small slice of the total listings and the total properties that are available, but It's a meaningful signal, I think, for a lot of people. Now, obviously, Toronto Realty Blog is the source for this one, but it's something to take note of and maybe track these numbers if they do continue to increase. As you can see on this chart here, they have for some time been increasing. So we want to really take note of that. Now, of course, you do have rights, and nobody does say that. If your lender is federally regulated, which includes the big banks, they must send you either a letter of renewal, a renewal statement, or a non-renewal notice at least 21 days before the term of your mortgage does end. Now, if you hear nothing, you got to escalate this whole process. You really got to get on top of them and make sure that they do give you that notice. And if they don't, obviously you'd be talking to the government of Canada, which you might just be running around in circles with these days, but that would be your next step. Now, some good news is that in 2024, the stress test was actually removed when you are deciding to switch lenders after your 3-5 year term, whatever that looks like. In late 2004, this was adjusted. You used to have to, if you're going to go to a new lender from a TD to an RBC, have to do that whole stress test again, but you no longer have to. It's easier to leave a bad situation with your current mortgage company on the renewal offer and actually go shop around for a better rate or a better provider. So that is good news for you if you are coming up on your renewal. And to keep that in mind, there are other options out there. You don't have to stay with the same mortgage company that maybe wasn't giving you the best rate the first time around, but you are just going to sign the renewal paperwork. It's not something you have to do anymore. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what am I supposed to do about all of this? I'm going to give you a few things that I would do. You may or may not want to do them, but I'm going to give you my opinion on it anyways. Pull everything you need to document-wise. Grab all the balances from your credit cards, get your credit report done, line up your income documents, your CRA notice of assessments, add all your business income, your financials, whatever it is that you actually need to. Stress test yourself. Now, if your ratios tend to not align the way you would like in those situations, what I would suggest is maybe consider a lump sum payment on the principal to reduce some of these payments and pay your balances to all of these lower credit cards and things that you can get rid of. Maybe you get rid of the car payment that is just kind of eating up at your monthly spend, and that might allow you to get a better ratio when it comes to renewal for your mortgage. Now, you want to shop early for your mortgage, there's no question. You want to shop 120 days out if you can, see what your options are, do your due diligence, talk to a couple different options out there, and see what actually makes sense. Now, if you happen to be declined by the bank on the renewal process, the good thing is we have different types of lenders out there. You can go with an A lender. If you don't get that approval, you're going to go down the ladder to that B lender, and so on and so forth. And you may not have to stay with that B lender for too long. It could be a 2-year plan where you're with that B lender for 24 months. You can fix whatever it was that needed to be repaired on your ratios and end up back with an A lender if you so desire. Just make sure that you are not foregoing your home and going through the power of sale process. Do what you can to keep your property. Although it sounds scarier that you might not get the auto renewal, it's not the end of the world. There are other options. It's not ideal, but you're not forced to give your home up just yet. Now, before I finish up this video here, I want to give you guys a little bit of viewer Q&A, questions that we are commonly getting around this situation. And the first question is, can my bank refuse my renewal? So this video is giving us the answer, yes, if your profile no longer fits their risk boxes, but they must give you a renewal statement or a non-renewal at the latest 21 days before your term actually ends. The second question that we've got here is, do I have to pass the stress test to switch? And no, not for most straight switches. Since late 2024, there's no increase to loan amount or amortization either. The next question, are power of sale listings exploding? They've surged year over year from 96 to 204, but exploding is, yeah, it's up to you. It's doubled. So yes, the percentage has exploded, but we are probably going to see more of these happening in the near future as well. So if your renewal is in 2025 or 2026, do a little bit of prep ahead of time. I've linked all the resources that we've discussed here, some of the government regulations so you can prepare yourself, but just know if you want to make the renewal transition easier for yourself, get all your documentation ready ahead of time. Know that there's a small chance that your renewal won't be automatically happening, but there is a really good chance that it will, because that is the more common theme, unless you are one of the outlier situations that we've brought up here, self-employed, maybe your income has dropped off, maybe your credit score or your credit profile has changed significantly, then this video is going to definitely pertain to you, and you might want to really get things rolling on that side of things. Now, question for anybody watching this video: if you have been through this renewal process and it was not automatic for you, I want to know in the comment section down below, what documents did you need to provide? How did that experience go? Was it a conversation, or did you end up having to switch lenders? Very curious. There's not a lot of people that I have personally talked to recently that have had this happen, but we know it is happening more often, and we know it is in the fine print that they can not automatically renew you. So thank you for watching this one. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.